everyone, I'm Sandra and I'm with the WCA. Today we're going to put together two different sangria recipes for our summer solstice neighborhood celebration. So we're going to make two different versions. One is a family-friendly version, which we're going to get started with, and a second batch, which will be for the adults or the after party when you're tuning in later on with Jesse Parent and his concert out in the back. So to get started with this recipe, it's actually super simple, and what's really great about sangria is that you can change the ingredients up and kind of make it whatever you want to make it. So for this specific recipe, what I'm going to get started with is I have 1 3/4 cups of just grape juice that I picked up at the grocery store. Next to that, I have 3/4 cup of pineapple juice. I did take some time to squeeze some fresh orange juice, so this is 2 oranges that have been juiced, but if you do have orange juice in here, if I have a look, we're just under a cup of orange juice. We're going to add that in there. Now what I like to do to kind of make it look really fancy is to grab some freshly sliced fruits. So here I have a selection. I've got freshly sliced oranges, I have limes and lemons, and I also have some blueberries just because I found them at the store and they're in season looking good. So we're going to put in about, I'm going to say half an orange worth of slices and 1 whole lime. And I'm going to top this off with a handful of blueberries. Now we'll give that a good stir to get everything together. What I would recommend, if you can make this ahead of time, you can let it sit in the fridge and kind of marinate a little bit longer, but as long as you've got a cup full of ice to make it cool, you're good to go. So on top of that, I'm going to top it off with soda. Again, you could use 7-Up, Sprite, even ginger ale would be really good. Give everything one last stir. And what I like to do too is to garnish the glass so that it looks as good as the pitcher. So I do have a little bit of ice tucked in this cup here, so we'll put a couple of lime slices and a slice of orange. And just like that, you're set to go. So now we're going to move on to recipe number 2, which is the adult version of the sangria that we just made. I do want to note I am going to put this one in a wine glass so that it's easy to differentiate between the two when you're having your summer celebrations. So this recipe is very similar to the other one. I tried to keep a lot of the ingredients the same so that it would be easy to make both recipes. To start this one off, I'm going to start putting stuff in the jug so that we can start getting it together. I've got a handful of mint leaves here, and we're going for probably about 20, I think. I actually have like a wild patch of mint growing in the yard, which is almost a nuisance, but it does give me an excuse to use it up. So I'm going to put that in there to get started. I've got about a half an orange worth of slices that I'm going to top in there as well. And 1 whole lime that's been sliced. And a few slices of lemon to add that in there as well. And while I'm at it, I'm actually going to dress our glass very similar to what I did for the other recipe with a slice or 2 of lemon and lime. So now to get started on the sangria, again I've got 1 orange worth of juice that I just squeezed into here before I got started. So I'm going to add that into the pitcher. Which is taking a lot longer than I anticipated. Okay. To that, I'm going to add 1.5 ounces of Grand Marnier or orange liqueur. Just put that there. I'm going to add 1/4 ounce of cassis to add a little bit of sweetness to the wine that we're going to be adding to the recipe in a moment. So we'll measure that out. Get that in there as well. I am going to put the juice of 1 whole lime in this recipe as well, just to help balance out the flavor. And to that, I'm going to add 1 whole bottle, which is 750 milliliters if I check the label, directly into this recipe. this one, we'll give it another really good stir. And with this one, it's important to kind of try and break up or crush the mint leaves a little bit so you get a little bit of that flavor and essence in the recipe. So once you've mixed that all in, again, I'm going to top this off with soda to the top of the pitcher. Give it one more stir. I'm going to top a little bit of this fresh mint just to put in the glass when we're done. And just like that, you're ready to serve an entire party worth of adults with this version of the sangria recipe. You're set. So now that you've got your 2 pitchers ready to go, make sure that you tune in to the WCA Facebook page to tune in to the Jessie Parent Concert that's going to be happening in just a few minutes. Thanks guys for tuning in to this episode of Next Door's Dish. Have a great summer.
I want butter, I need butter, I love butter, I eat butter.